What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Tuesday night, live from Redhook here at the Function House. Mike Gentile, along with Anthony Vitale. Thanks for tuning in. And tonight, we'd like to welcome our special guest DJ, Teo. Welcome to the show, my man.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys.
You've been down to the warehouse before.
Yes, I have.
Yep.
Yeah, I came with Encore. You guys do a great job here.
Yep.
I watch it on the regular when I'm home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Always a good time.
So thanks for coming down.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So one question that I can't really understand. Your name is Tim Wolf.
Yes.
And you chose the name Teo.
Well, I didn't choose it. It was a tag name back in the day. I like to say I used to write graffiti, but I wasn't all that good. But my tag, I could tag. So it just stuck because I've been playing for over 20 years. So it just stuck.
How many people told you, yo, man, Tim Wolf is such a
Over
dope
the years,
name?
Over the years, quite a few. I should have. I mean, if I knew then what I know now, right? With anything else.
You could come out with like tracks on the Tim Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely.
That actually would
It's
be
a great name.
would be a great DJ name.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
You know?
I mean, not to say Teo's not a great name. I'm sure.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, Teo sounds good too. But
Thank you.
so how did you get into this business?
When I was young, I mean, when I started DJing, it was backyard parties, house parties, old school freestyle, old school hip hop, roller skating, you know, all the stuff that you grow up to, break dancing, everything. Just how I got into it. Then house music just came along as I progressed, as I got older.
So you're born and raised in New Jersey?
Yeah, originally from North Jersey, a town called Pequannock. It's right next to Wayne.
Yep.
Now I live down the shore, Tom's River. I've been down there over 20 years. Probably 25 years now.
So you're familiar with Stewart's Root Beer on Route 37 over there?
Well, yeah, I was until they knocked it down.
They knocked it down,
Yeah, they
really?
did. Yeah, it was one of the worst things they could have did was knock that down. Everybody was upset about
when
that.
When did they knock that down?
A few years back, probably 5-6 years ago.
So they didn't like put it up
They put a
someplace?
7-Eleven there.
Really?
Of all things, right?
That was on what, Fisher
It
Boulevard?
was on Fisher, 37, yeah,
I know
exactly.
that very well. As a kid, I used to be out in Tom's River every summer.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine, his grandparents had a summer house out there.
Yeah.
So I literally
That was
lived
the spot.
in Stewart's.
That was the spot,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Oh, wow, I'm heartbroken now. Stewart's Root Beer shut down.
Yeah, right?
So that's cool. So now you reside in Tom's River.
Tom's River, yeah. I played in Seaside for years. I mean, that's kind of where it all kicked off as far as the clubs were concerned.
You had a bunch of residencies.
Yeah, for
Seaside.
years. I've worked in Seaside close to 20 years. Started out a club called the Chatterbox. And went to a club called Beach Club, which used to be Hollywood's. And then I worked at Excess, Bermuda Club, Temptations, Surf Club, and it just went from there.
Excess had a banging sound system.
Excess had yes, they did. Especially after they remodeled. I mean, it was serious in there.
Yeah.
They still have that system. It's sitting in a container, almost
Really?
the entire system.
So there's a specific guy, right, that did most of the sound systems in a lot of...
Cannaccio, yeah.
Yes,
Cannaccio.
yes.
Yeah, he ran the shore back then.
It was called Sound Environment.
Sound environments, yeah, exactly. It was on every
yeah.
console. It was all the same. The turntables on rubber bands, the Uri mixers. It was all the same setup everywhere you went. He built his own speakers and stuff, and he was the man back then.
His sound systems.
Yeah, they were analog systems. They were tight.
cranked.
But he got paid for that. I mean, he wasn't cheap.
Does he still do sound systems?
I heard that he's still around. I don't know who he works with. I think he was working with Headliner a couple years back. I don't know if he's still doing that.
Yep.
But as far as I know he lost his whole garage when Sandy hit. I know he got beat up pretty good with that, but I don't know what he's done since then.
What goes on in Seaside now?
Zero, zilch, nothing,
No nightlife at all?
nothing. I mean, there's a couple like I can't say there's no nightlife. I mean, there is nightlife. It's more on the boardwalk now, the smaller bars. There's no big rooms. Hemingway's is there, like Bamboo, that type of thing. But they're all up for sale. I mean, they're building condos. It's really in a transformation right now.
What about Joey Harrison's? Is the Beach Club still there? Or?
No, that got wiped away.
Really?
Yeah, they lost that in Sandy. Yeah, it's
So
been
they
gone.
never rebuilt that.
Nope.
Wow.
It's just a beach, and it's heartbreaking to go ride by there.
So what section of Jersey's popping right now?
Asbury Park is on fire right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asbury Park is a music town, bands, some DJ stuff, but a lot of retro playing stuff. They also have Porta. They do pretty well there. I'm not real familiar with it, but from what I understand, they do very well there.
Yeah,
Younger crowd.
Yeah, I see a lot of action on social media with Porter, and a lot of they have a lot of DJs that actually roll through.
Oh
that,
yeah, a lot
club.
of the local cats around there. A lot of the guys that are in that circuit.
Yep.
They all roll through there, 100%.
Yeah, and
AC's doing okay. I mean, they're coming back. Got a lot of things happening down there. So.
Yeah, so the Hard Rock is supposed to be open.
Hard
up
Rock's,
down
yeah,
there,
and they said that they're gonna bring in more entertainment than Atlantic City's ever seen. So
And then it's funny because I heard they're not having nightlife at all.
yeah.
where?
So there's
At-
like some mixed.
At
things
least day
going on.
one, they're not going to have
oh
like
yeah,
a nightclub
of
in
course.
there. Yeah.
But everything's opening back up. Like the old Rebels opening back up. Harris is doing stuff. Like we're actually doing a party Memorial Day weekend with Choosing Ceballos and Mark Knight. It's their tool room party that they have in Miami. It's their first time they're bringing it out of Miami, so that should be really good.
You're working with them.
I'm working with them.
Awesome.
And then we have there's a whole bunch of DJs actually. We're gonna have the main stage and there's an outside patio too. So there'll be a lot of DJs playing.
And
that
this
day.
is at which place?
That's at Harris Pool.
It's at Harris Pool.
Yeah, that's the Sunday, the 27th, Memorial Day weekend. I think it's the
Yeah.
27th. Yeah.
So they still do a lot of big events, Harris, right?
They do. They do. They
They-
kind of went towards the hip hop side of things.
Yep.
But they do have the one-offs. You know what I mean? They do have some bigger events that come through.
They do a lot of cross promotions with DJs, right? From in Belmar, is that where they do like the
DJs does. I think they do. I think they only do one part. They do like a halfway to summer
halfway to
party.
summer
Yeah,
party,
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
if they. I think because they have two parties. I don't know if they do them both there or if they do them at two different spots.
Yep.
So who's the promotion behind that Memorial Day weekend party with Choosing Ceballos?
That's Real Talent Management with Benoit.
Okay,
He put that together. I think right after we got back from the conference, he mentioned it to me that it was in the works and it's all coming together now. So definitely looking forward to that.
So
that's gonna be a good
are
party.
you managed by anybody?
No. I've just been doing my own thing. I mean, over the years, since everything's pushed off to the mashup style, I'm a house DJ through and through. You know what I mean? Like, I could play some old school hip hop, some old stuff, 80s stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm a house guy. You know what I mean? And if there's the venues aren't catering to that, don't get me wrong. I've tried to do some of these smaller spots. It's not satisfying for me. You know what I mean? I drive home like upset, like what just happened. You know,
Yep,
it's
yep.
like a money grab. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't,
Well, you got to. Well, it's interesting because I guess coming up when you came up,
Yes.
and and Seaside Heights being the shit.
On fire.
for
Yeah,
so
and I
long.
moved there right before it blew up.
And Seaside Heights was like a big house haven,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, there was so many different clubs.
Absolutely.
Temptations
Temptation
was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was like
They had serious runs, those clubs.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Temptations were there for years and years. Like
Yeah.
well before I was down there. That's for
And
sure.
and the guy who used to sort of run that show was what, Danny Chetos, right? He was
Denny
like,
Chetos, yeah.
he
Denny,
was like the
Denny
main-
played there for many years. Actually, when Denny came to town, it came like a couple years after me, but I was doing some of the other spots. But when Denny came to town, he was also doing Abyss at the time.
Yep.
Abyss was blowing up, and it all kind of came together for him at that time. So
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Benoit and them started doing promos at Surf Club, and that brought Richard Santana, Peter Bailey, and then everybody. Choosing Ceballos came down. They played at Deco first,
Yep.
and then we had them down the shore, and everything kind of came together.
So you must have seen some crazy shit down the
I
shore.
did see some crazy shit down the shore. I mean, there's not.
What was
to
the
tell you
worst? What was the worst experience down the
Ah,
shore?
Come on, man. We could be here for an hour talking about that. There's many bad things that happen.
maybe it's not legal if we talk.
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
yeah, maybe we should. Maybe we should get past that.
So did you ever play at Deco?
Yeah, I played at Deco a lot.
So,
Yeah.
so Deco, they actually had a serious run
Oh yeah.
where they had some pretty big name DJs roll
Yeah,
through the doors.
They had everybody
They had the
roll
biggest
through.
names. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was also Benoit, and he was one of the biggest pulls. I mean, other than Rob Fernandez in Manhattan, for Jersey, Benoit was the guy,
Yeah.
and all the big names had to come through him. Even if they were working somewhere else, they would team up with him so he could bring in the talent.
Well, Costa and Dimitri had a lot to do
Well,
with
I'm
the
sorry.
talent that was coming
yes,
through
yes,
there.
Yes. Close and Dimitri.
Yep.
My bad. They obviously had Abyss and they did everything, but I mean them together, the three of them together, is what really made that happen. I mean,
and now it's Mr. East, right? Is
yes,
the-
Mr. East, yeah.
Mr. East, and they've have, I know, like they always have like Roger Sanchez.
Roger was just there, yeah.
Oscar G is
Oscar
there.
G is always
yeah.
there, yes.
So
yes.
that's like the happening spot for house music.
Yeah,
in-
they're
yeah.
owners that get it.
Yeah,
a lot of the
well,
owners don't get it.
Well, Dimitri Costa, I mean, they used to come down to the conference. They would go to Ibiza. I mean, they would go see what's happening and bring it
Yeah.
back to Jersey. You know what I mean? So if you don't have that, no one's gonna take that rollover.
Yeah.
Especially now. Everything's jaded now. Nothing's like it was.
Now it's still 3 o'clock. Is it 3 o'clock in the morning, lights on, or 2 o'clock in the morning?
Where's that?
In Jersey?
It's different in different places.
Okay.
Like at Seaside, we used to have 4 o'clock.
Seaside had
We had 4 o'clock. Most places are 3. Some places are 2.
I mean, Jersey. Atlantic City is obviously late.
Yeah, they stay
stay
open
open
later.
late.
Yeah. I think they're 5. I want to say they're 5.
I
I'm
remember
not sure.
Deco used to be 3 o'clock lights on.
Oh, yeah.
2:45 lights on, 3 o'clock
Yeah,
out
but
the
if
door.
but if the party was bumping, I mean, it went straight to that. If not, a couple minutes passed. You know?
Yeah.
It was. Deco was serious. Deco was a good time.
Yeah. I had some good times at Deco.
Absolutely.
And Abyss, I mean, listen, you had a lot of people from Brooklyn and Staten Island
Oh yeah.
who would gravitate towards
100%.
Deco and Abyss because it was literally right over the outer bridge.
Right over the outer bridge. Yeah.
You know, and it also made for like, you know, you went out earlier, so you were getting to the club at say 9. Like the clubs used to open at 9 o'clock,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So you're getting to the club at 10, as
Yeah.
opposed to like if
Exactly.
you're going out in the city, you're getting there like 11:30, 12.
Yeah. 100%.
So you're starting the night earlier,
Yeah.
so it sort of worked itself out.
Well, I mean, even when we were doing the parties down at Seaside, we'd be done at 3 o'clock. We'd be in our cars on the way to the city to go after hours. You know?
Yeah.
It went on and on. It seemed like it never ended. Like a weekend.
Let's talk about those nights.
It went. I mean, back then, for real though, like you would, like a weekend would come. Saturday would roll into Sunday. Sunday you'd come back down. You go to Surf Club, then you leave Surf Club, go to Temptations, and all of a sudden it's Monday afternoon.
Yeah. So getting back to you and your house music.
Yeah.
So what genre of house are you sort of gravitating to now? Has it always been?
I've always been. I mean, now that it's got a classification. No, I'm sorry. Now it's got a classification. I mean, tech house has been my thing for years. Before, I mean, it was just that sound, drummy sound. You know, that tech house flavor. I mean, obviously over the years with the EDM when it blew up, but back when like Swedish House Mafia was still doing their thing, you know, we used to play some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But house.
That's before it went like totally mainstream.
Yeah, exactly. Like after, like, to me, Swedish House Mafia was it, and then it was just, you know, downhill from there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we were just speaking about Avicii. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
take that out of the
man.
mix, though. You know
That was
what I mean?
crazy what happened.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
But I feel like, I mean, I feel like Levels actually brought everything mainstream.
Levels was huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've played that record.
But you know, I think like, you know, a guy like Avicii
Yeah.
and the music that he was making. I mean, his music was really good.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like watered down.
No, not at all. No, he had
EDM.
talent. He had real
talent. You
Yeah.
know, it had good melodies, good keys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything was so well put together.
Yep.
And he was just dropping bomb after bomb.
For a few
You
years,
know?
exactly what
Like,
was happening.
just everything he was touching was just
yeah,
like
it was
a
gold.
banger.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
it's,
now
it's,
that you know this happened, it's upsetting, of course. But now you're starting to see tracks surface that you didn't even know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're starting to hear stuff. And you're like, wow, can't even believe that he got down like that. You know?
You're really starting to listen though. Like,
Of course. And it's a shame that it's like that, but that happens in every situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I
don't know
mean,
what you got till it's gone, type of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
it's well, I mean, you know, I think he retired back in like the end of 2016, I think.
Yeah.
And
I think and then he came back this.
well, he just retired touring.
Yeah,
So he
retired
was still
touring.
producing
Still in his-
music.
Yeah, yeah, because that's something else that came up, that he was behind a lot of other people's music that I would have never known. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it has to, you know, like you can get, obviously being in the scene, right? It's easy to get caught up in that scene.
Yeah,
Right?
of course.
And he did like I think they were saying like he did like over 300 shows, like over the course of a couple of years. So it
Yeah.
was just like nonstop traveling.
He's worth $85 million.
You know,
Yeah, it's
Part
amazing.
drinking.
28 years old, $85 million.
uh,
It's okay.
So you know, it could become a lonely lifestyle at times.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know,
But-
as much as like there's the glitz and the glamour, you just become like that marketing guy. You
yeah,
know?
but I mean, he was the one that kind of continued that sound. You know what I mean? And like I said, during that time, I still kind of always kept to my own, but gravitated to the bigger stuff. You couldn't; it was undeniable. You know, you had to drop that, especially in Jersey. You know what I mean? But over the years now, I mean, with the way techno is taken over, and tech house is still there, but the funkier, down-tempo, housey stuff is amazing. Like, there's so much good music out there, and I think a lot of the people now, a lot of the kids coming up, they get stuck in a genre. You know what I mean? They're afraid to expand a little bit. They're afraid to, like, you know, introduce new music. You know what I mean? They want to stick to this. You know, I'm a techno DJ. I'm a tech house DJ, and I come from a different school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to appreciate everything. There's so much good music to have. You know,
Yeah, it makes you versatile.
like 100%.
So what gigs do you have coming up? Just the
I'm doing that, and then we also have that party with Encore. I know he was telling you about that. We do Tiki Bar in Point Pleasant.
is it Mondays?
Mondays, yeah. It's
Yeah.
been huge. I mean, we've been doing it like 8 years now. I mean, we do over 1,000 people every Monday. I mean, it's like no one works. It's crazy.
I have to come check that out.
No, you do. I mean, it's really crazy, the crowd we do there. I mean, that's
a lot of people calling in sick.
Oh
on
yeah,
Monday.
exactly. But I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, we're on the beach. You know, we don't compare to the surf club, but scenery, vibe-wise, you're on the beach, you're in the sand, you're dancing. You know, we're the closest thing to that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not a comparison, but I mean, it's.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest with you, you guys are probably the only thing left. I mean, like, in terms of like that beach type party that's
100%.
popping right now.
Exactly.
Like Neptune's doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly.
Seaside Heights is dead.
Yep.
So
Well,
that
now, yeah, I mean, as far as what we do, yes, because like I
Yes.
said, Asbury's coming back. They do huge festivals on the beaches and stuff, but that's all band related and
Yeah.
you know, jam band style and that type of thing.
yeah.
So the Mondays is just you and Encore. Do you guys bring in?
No,
other
we
DJs?
have a handful of guys that play with us every week. We bring in different DJs. We try to incorporate different local DJs into the scene.
Any
Even
Brooklyn
guys that
DJs?
travel.
Any Brooklyn DJs coming in?
And why, you want to come down? I think we can make that happen for you. But yeah, we try to bring in a lot of people. You know, there's a lot. It's a very diverse crowd. You know, and each person brings their own thing to the table. You know.
Yep. Yep. I
So-
heard it's alcohol free. There's no alcohol. there.
Someone lied to you. Someone lied to you. There's plenty of alcohol there.
It's rough Monday afternoons.
Monday afternoon, believe me, I work Tuesday mornings. I'm lucky that I work in a barbershop 4 days a week. So I got my Mondays, I got Saturday, Sundays, and Mondays off to do this. But then come Monday into Tuesday, it's
So
rough.
nobody
What
should
is-
nobody
what is the
should
di-
go on
what is the-
Tuesday to get a haircut from him after.
Come afternoon.
Yeah.
DJing and barbershops, they just go together, man.
They work. Yeah, they work.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, it was short notice for what we're doing. And again, I appreciate coming through, but it was short notice. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to get my playlist together. You know what I mean? Quick enough
Yeah,
in
you're
between
right.
customers and stuff to get everything ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So how long you been doing that for?
It's going on 17 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot of DJs that cut hair.
Well, you know why? I mean, for me, back in the day, we all were eating. You know what I mean? We were all gigging, we were all eating, and then I saw us starting to compete for the same spots. And
Man, look what's going on now.
yeah, well, now forget about it. I mean, God bless these guys now. I mean, I don't know what I would have did now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a long stretch from there. But I mean, once I saw that, I'm like, you know what? Let me do something else to compensate. And thank God it worked. You know, it worked out well.
Well,
It's great.
if we had hair, we'd be.
I would take care of you.
You could do a little bit here.
I can work that out.
All right, man. Well, we're really happy that you came down.
Yeah, man. Again, thank you so
We're
much.
looking forward to hear you play.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking ready to get down.
All right, we're going to get to it. We're going to take a
All right,
2-minute break. We're going to get Tim Wolf up on the decks. Peace. Teo.